Alright, well this is just a quick look at a setup I would probably use if I'm just going on a trip where I wanted to keep it as light as possible. Just one little bag, one camera, one lens. And this is probably what I'll take when I go on a cruise in spring, this April. So what I've got here is a Think Tank Mirrorless Mover 30i, I believe it is. And this is the largest of the mirrorless movers they have. They have a few other, they've got like a 25, a little bit smaller than this. A 20, maybe 15, 10. Smaller ones. This one, you can fit an iPad in the back of this. I'll open up here in just a second. But, or tablet. I probably wouldn't take a tablet with me, but anyway. This is probably for me about the right size so that it's not too big. It kind of fits just what I want. And once I've got it slung around my shoulder, I don't hang it over just one shoulder. I take it diagonally up and around my, hang the bag on one side, like the left side of me. The strap will go up and over my shoulder, around my neck, and then back down. So, it's a little comfortable that way. It's not going to slide off your shoulder, and a little more secure that way for anybody wanting to run by and snatch it from you. And you can just slide it around your back, and it's nice and comfortable that way. So in here, I've got the Sony 24-105 f4 on order. It's back ordered, so I don't have that to show right now, but it'd be pretty close to this size. So this is kind of what I would take, all the essentials, little blower, rocket blower, memory cards in here, the official charger for the camera I can put in there. But I do have, I only take the manufacturer's charger just in case, but what I usually use is this Watson Duo charger because it has these removable plates. So you just buy the plates that you need for your battery. And, so as long as they determine that this charger, will be fine for the battery, for any new cameras that come out, they'll just come out with a new plate. So, and the plates are only about $2.50 or whatever. So you just pop on whatever you want. So you've got charge 2 batteries at once. You can also power it through, your car, 12 volts. And it's got a USB output for USB charging. And that's pretty much it. But so that would actually fit in there too if you really wanted to. And then put the power cord somewhere else. But just to be safe, I like to have 2 chargers with me just in case something goes wrong. So I have this as the primary and the official Sony charger just in case. So this is that little slot where you could stick something else. I'd probably end up putting papers or whatever in there. Like I said, I probably wouldn't be taking a tablet. And it's got a little phone pocket here and one of these dividers, but I wouldn't be putting a phone in there because obviously if you got something in there like your camera lens and something else hard, it's going to smash against it. You can just stick it somewhere else if you wanted to, but I usually use a holster or a thing to put the camera on the side of my belt anyway. So I have a couple lens cloths, but I just take this big one, throw it over the camera itself, and then that way when you put the strap in here, which in this case is one of those Peak Design straps, and this is the only thing I don't really like about it is the hard buckles on it. This is metal. It doesn't have any sharp edges on it, but still, if you're letting that rub against your camera, it is going to rub something off or put scratches in it. So, I'll put something over that to protect it, and I'd probably be a little more thorough about how I probably do something like this, kind of like get the buckles out of the way. So anyway, this is the A7R III, Sony A7R III, and see that fits right in there with the 24-240. So there's, I can't see that very well there, but there's plenty of room in there for that, and the 24-105 wouldn't be too much bigger. So that just fits right in there. And so as I'm wearing this, I would have the bag kind of swinging around in front of me. I don't know if you see that I put some extra pads in there, those orange things, just in case. Those are actually some pads out of a Amazon Basics DSLR bag, and I just took those out and stuck them in the bottom, so I've got extra padding. But I would have this on me like this, so I had this swinging around to the front of me, and then when I'm done, just turn the lens hood around. and just pop it in there like that. And this would be more or less just for, you know, I'm kind of done for the day, or I'm going on a little excursion or something where, you know, I just can't use the camera, not allowed to use the camera for whatever reason, don't want to. So you just slide it back in there like that. And I may get a different strap than this, I don't know. Don't necessarily need one this wide, but and then, you know, like I said, the biggest thing with this is I just don't like all those you know, those metal brackets that could scratch up the camera, because I like to keep my stuff in as good a shape as possible, just for resale value, because, you know, I'll upgrade to something else later on. So that's that. I mean, it does have let's see, this little magnetic flap thing. I don't really know what the purpose is, other than aesthetics, you know, just for the looks. Doesn't really do much of anything. You know, maybe it would shield a little bit of rain off of this other cover here, this other zipper. But in here, this is where I'd put the things I need right away. So I'd have some extra batteries, some lens fluid. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I could take that on the plane. It's less than 3 ounces. And a lens cloth. And this is where the little storage pocket is for the rain cover that comes with this. I do have one that's a little bit bigger. It's actually a think tank. If I can get that one right next to it. Not think tank, tin buff. So this one, you can see it's a little bit wider, a little bit longer. The top of it is about the same height, but you know, this one's kind of sloped down, the mirrorless mover think tank, whereas this one's kind of like the, you know, the top of it's even all the way across. And you've got the zipper in the back for, I've actually got some garbage bags in there if I ever wanted to throw something over the whole thing, you know, in a heavy rain. Put the whole bag in a garbage bag. And it's a little bit more padded, but I wouldn't want to carry this one around too much unless I really had to, because once you sling it around you and then put it around your back, it just, especially on a hot summer vacation, it just gets kind of hot and uncomfortable. But if I really needed to, you know, and I didn't want to bring a backpack, you know, again, I could bring this. So it's got some extra space in here. Probably put 2 cameras in there. The Fuji X-T2 that I have now recording this, I'll probably stick that in there. Put a divider in the middle and then put the A7R3 on the other side. Or you could even put them in top, you know, lens down, and make more room that way. I tend to like to have them in sideways, a little more secure and I think safer. But yeah, so anyway, this mirrorless mover i30 is probably what I would be taking on my trip to you know, a cruise I've got coming up in April. So I'll just take that. And I could also take this on a trip where I'm driving and I might want to just have something just for the day. You know, I'll take my backpack, and then leave, you know, the odds and ends and stuff like the charger and so on that I don't need during the day in the backpack, and any extra lenses that I might have with me. And then I'll just take this as, you know, for the day. So I have all anything I need to clean my camera, switch memory cards, batteries, that sort of thing. So this, you know, while it's kind of made for smaller cameras, I mean, it fits something like this perfectly, and you know, like it'd be comfortable to carry around. So that might be an idea for you. All right, well, that's really all I've got. It's a cold, snowy winter day, and really got nothing else to do on this Sunday. All right, thanks for watching.